show you how I've been making stamp pockets using laminating sheets. So what I have to do is I have to photocopy the picture of the stamp before I take it out of its packaging. So I just photocopied these, and then I put a sheet in the front and a sheet in the back, and I trim it down to a certain size, run it through the laminator, and then I cut the top off, and when I do, it makes a pocket, and then I stick the stamp down in it. So here's how I do that. This is a set I just did. So let me move these out of the way here. These are ones that are copied. I just gotta make. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2 sheets of paper, and it's easier, oops, it's easier to do this and cut them together so they're the same size. So I know just from what I've been working on that I want each one to be 5 1/4 long, because that's how it fits best in what I'm making here. So I'll cut that at 5 1/4, and then I'll come over here and I'll cut this one at 5 1/4. And it really doesn't matter what side you take it off of. You can take a little from each side if you want. You need it to be perfectly symmetrical. I just pick a side and take it off. Alright, and then from there, in my laminating sheet, this laminating sheet is the Staples brand, and it's actually longer than 8.5 by 11. It's a little bit bigger. I think it's 11.5 inches. So I'll open that up, and I use my grid mat here to just make sure that the bottom edge is on a straight line. And by making sure that I lay this in here right, it just saves me some trimming later. So I'll put it up 1/4 inch from the bottom, and then about 1/4 inch in. And I put those 2 papers on top of each other. Then on this side, I'll do the same thing, only I will put it over as far to this edge as I can, making sure I put it up about 1/4 inch. Then close it up, being careful not to wrinkle anything, move anything. And then I'll run it through the laminator. And then when it comes out with a clear picture. The reason why you have to photocopy it first is because if you don't, you won't be able to see inside you can't see inside your pocket to see what's in there. So it's best if you photocopy the picture, and then that way you have it on the front and you don't have to actually look down into the pocket to see what's in there when you're looking through your stamps. So then when I get this, I'll just take this and I'll cut it right in half, and then I will put them together, cut the top off, and when I cut the top edge off, I make sure to cut it right at the paper, and that's what makes the pocket. So I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, so make sure you're getting this on the camera. I'm going to bring it over here and just eyeball center it. I want to make sure that each side has a seal. So cut it up that way. So now I have 2. I'll put it together and just cut off that top, cutting some of the paper with it. And what that does is open it up into a pocket that I can put the stamp. I actually take the stamp out of the package because I don't need the package anymore. That's the whole purpose of doing this, because these packages don't last long. And then, like with this one, if you've got a die that goes with it, you can put that in there too. I've had several stamps and die combinations that I'm able to fit both of them in there. And at the end, when you're all done, they all pretty much are the same size. So, ignore my sandwich. So when you put them in your container, they're all fit together nicely. That's it.